I'm Jim Csek. You're watching KelownaNow with me, Lyndon Dyas of TD Benefits, the sponsor of this show. We talk benefits on a bi-weekly basis, and it's an important thing. So today we're going to talk about some people are questioning because there's this push out there by the federal government saying that there's dental being offered to people, and do people on benefits qualify for that?
Yeah, so good question, Jim. So I've seen this come up a little bit more lately. Obviously, this has been launched fairly recently by the government, and essentially, similar to Pharmacare, which is an income-based program, this dental program that's been pushed forward by the government is very similar to that. So, the answer to your question is no, it's not intended to replace the dental benefits in a traditional plan. When I say income-based, essentially they've launched it with 3 tiers for right now seniors, so those above 65, dependent children, and of course any disabled individuals. So family net income, you're looking at individuals with a house net income of $70,000. They'd receive
house net income, not personal net
exactly income. Yeah, so you'd be looking at 100% coverage up to a predetermined amount. So you'd still have to send certain work in for approval from the government and such, and so that they would pay for it.
I know that employers have to, on their payroll systems online, they have to state whether they're providing benefits or not to the individuals, and then I think they probably get automatically disqualified, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good point. If you're on a benefit plan, you're not eligible to receive this as well, right? So it's filling a void, and I can understand the intent is there, but essentially it will be for those individuals who most likely aren't able to get that coverage, right? And then, the second tier would be from $70,000 to $79,000. You're eligible for 60% coverage on dental, and then the third one would be $80,000 to $89,000. You're eligible.
And what does that cover? Those all dental? Is that
So from what I've looked at it, it's going to be it says basic, which is your annual your
checkups,
your checkups, and it's majors in there and orthodontics as well, but. From what I've understood, it's going to be in the amounts from $500, $600, $700. That's covered for families, and again, they're rolling it out more in November of 2024. But the most important thing here is prospects or clients, maybe they've reached out and they said, hey, with this new funding from the federal government, do we still need to offer dental benefits? Why should obviously it's important. Businesses are hearing about this, and is there a way they can reduce their costs, right? But essentially, it's not meant to replace those employee benefits that are included in the plan, and the annual coverage, to be honest, if you're having $1,500 per year per member of family that's covered, or $2,000, you're not going to see those amounts that are probably being offered. So the answer, to be upfront, is no. It's a great incentive, obviously, for individuals who aren't able to have that coverage in place as of now, right? There's probably a fairly decent portion of
I understand the dentist has to sign up to the program as well, though. I understand dental offices actually have to sign up for them.
Correct.
Go use that dentist, right?
Because you'd want to go to the dental office and you could on a plan direct bill it, or let them know, hey, send this work where it needs to go, so the government can essentially tell me what's covered on it. Because if you think about it, they don't have. There's a percentage of Canadians, they don't have the money to go to the dental office and pay for this work, right? So if they're still saying pay for this up front and then submit it to the government and then get reimbursement, that's not how they want it to work. So of course I would assume that's how it's going to work. But again, 2024 November will, I guess, bring a little bit more of that to the table.
More clarity. Yeah. Exactly. So basically, though, if you have benefits, you're all not eligible to use the government benefit plan.
That is the biggest takeaway, and it's not meant to replace it too. So, when I'm having these conversations, I'm letting them know who would be eligible, of course, but, we're not looking to take away your dental coverage and say, hey, I think you should start using this now because that's what it's meant for.
And the thing is with dental, it's one that when hiring all these employees over the years, is lots of people that haven't had dental coverage haven't seen a dentist in 5-6 years either, right? So that's why it's a really good perk to add dental to employee programs, because it means a lot to a lot of people too.
Dental anxiety is a thing too, right? People don't like to go.
Anxiety for everything, right?
Anxiety. Hey, well, group plans can help you with that too, right? With the mental health side of things. If anything, mental health's important, right? That's somewhere where there's a void there. Maybe government could kick in and contribute more funding to that eventually within parameters of benefit plans. But, just to touch on the dental, it's important that, individuals know and businesses don't need to think that, hey, let's let this to cover our, expenses now for that, because essentially that's not the purpose of it.
Right. So employers, the message is, if you have a dental program, you need to keep it, because I think you can't just take out your dental and offer other benefits, right?
Correct. And a little bit different to Fair Pharmacare. Fair Pharmacare, it's, it goes hand in hand with your prescription drug coverage. So that's, again, it's income-based.
That's where you max out, you know what I mean? If you've paid like some people are on like very expensive drug therapies, right?
Exactly. It's all income based again. So depending on your income, you're going to have a deductible. So if you earn $80,000 a year, maybe you have a $2,000 out of pocket deductible. Once you hit that, Fair Pharmacare kicks in and it starts covering, 75%. And then once you hit a family deductible, it will actually cover, your prescriptions at 100%. So again, that's the BC government.
Yeah, some of the drug therapy, especially if you have cancer, something can get fairly expensive.
Yeah, for those individuals that have higher drug costs, I mean, essentially the group plan is going to pay first, and once you hit your out-of-pocket deductible, the Fair Pharmacare in BC is going to kick in, which is, essentially meant to eliminate those high drug costs, right?
Right. So those catastrophic events for people, like financial events, right? So.
Exactly. So that, great program as well. All constantly informing business about that. Usually it's a requirement you register for Fair Pharmacare in BC, right? So yeah. A lot of employees, they're asking, hey, what do I need to do here? It's, very straightforward. We can always assist with that, but, it's just so that they can gauge where you're spending on your drugs so that program can kick in once you hit that deductible, right?
How is it looking in the Okanagan for employer benefits? Are a lot of employers looking at benefits now, or is it still something that's...
Yeah, they are. And if we look and stretch that beyond the Okanagan, I was actually just looking at this the other day. So Canadians, like as a whole, there's 1.2 million small businesses in Canada. 1.1 million of those, actually small businesses in the 1 to 100 employee category. Okay. Yeah. So from that number, the 1.1 million at the 1 to 100 businesses, essentially 80% of those businesses offer benefits to their salaried employees. And then 50% of that would offer benefits to their hourly wage employees.
That's a good stat, actually.
That's a pretty big number, right? When you're looking at how many businesses throughout the country are offering these programs. And obviously the Chamber's plan is going to make up for a portion of that because it's nationwide. And, that's what we do at TD Benefits. So, and from that number, essentially with the small businesses, you get the 1 to 9, which is about 50% of that number. And, I was just looking at this a little bit, and essentially 7 out of 10 employees of those 1 to 9 are essentially hoping and expecting for an employee benefit program within their small business, right? So again, it's just adding a competitive edge.
I know that's a question we get asked all the time, right? When you're looking to hire somebody, right? Do you have a benefit plan?
Yeah, so a couple friendly stats there, and those are from previous year, of course, but just letting you know that the small businesses, 1.1 million is a big number for 1 to 100 size.
Well, if you think about that, right? Most businesses probably have 5 to 10 employees on average, or somewhere in there, right? So if you take that's, a lot of people. Canada's still in the 40 million mark, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then not all of them are eligible to work because there's some young ones in there and some retired people as well. So
yeah, but the Okanagan, from what we serve, it's, definitely things are happening and it's busy, and, we're putting all sorts of different things together, whether it be health spending accounts, lifestyle spending accounts, traditional employee benefit programs. You're seeing a little bit of everything, and it's definitely... So
that custom plan,
Yeah, exactly. So employees want that, right? And we don't want them to be leaving us because that costs us a lot of money. Usually it's 2 times an annual salary business is losing it if the employee turns away, right?
Yep. Just retraining and all that.
Loss of productivity, retraining, time. So essentially, keeping them, it could be more valuable for us. So things are happening, things are going on, and, providing those flexible plans for when needed for businesses in all industries, really.
Yeah, we won't make it too confusing this time because it's really just on that dental plan, because that's a really good question to kind of get answered, right? So
yeah, exactly. Essentially, it is a great incentive, and it's filling a void in the country where people literally don't have the coverage, right? But no, it's not intended to replace your dental coverage. That's not the purpose of it. There are thresholds based on income where you would be eligible. So that's important to note as well, and just, looking into that and researching it. So it has come up, so I thought it was important just to touch on and get the information out there. It's obviously available, and you could, figure it out quite simply, but just speaking to it and letting businesses know, and I'm more than happy to have those discussions as well, and go through the dental coverage and such. Right. So
as usual, there'll be a form at the bottom of this video, and we embed it in a KelownaNow story, and then you can reach out to Lyndon, and if you have questions and you want a free consult, Lyndon will be more than happy to help you.
You bet.
And with that said, we'll wrap up here.
Awesome. Sounds good, Jim.
Hey, and thank you for watching KelownaNow.